What's up YouTube, this is URC Shadow and welcome to another video in my GTA Online Flight School series. This is lesson number 7, Shooting Range. So in this lesson we'll be using a buzzard attack helicopter to take out as many targets as we can within the required time with the two weapon options available for the buzzard, which is the missiles and the cannon. Now firstly I'm going to recommend you just use the cannon all the time, and that's mostly because the targets you'll be hitting don't have any armor whatsoever. One single bullet counts as knocking them down. Therefore being able to fire hundreds and hundreds of bullets in a very short space of time gives you a much better chance of hitting down the targets rather than a handful of missiles. And the other thing you may want to consider for this lesson is use the in-vehicle view using the select button. I personally prefer to use the outside view, and that's just so I can see what's going on with the helicopter, if it's tilting forwards, tilting backwards. Some people do prefer the in-vehicle view, so they've got a better idea of what they're aiming at. The choice of course is up to you. Now lots of targets are going to appear around the building site. To be honest, I'm not particularly sure if there's a particular order, but one of the absolute most important things for this lesson is that you must try and keep the helicopter stable at all times. Keeping the helicopter stable and level will give you much better accuracy when you're trying to shoot things with a cannon. And I'd also say that when you're moving from one target on one level to a target on a different level of the construction site, you'll want to favour using the L2 and R2 buttons to increase your altitude or lower your altitude, rather than trying to tip the helicopter forward so that you're aiming at a lower level. All this is going to do is going to make you fly forwards, and if you're not careful, run into the building. Now the number of targets you've got to get for gold isn't particularly challenging, as long as you're pretty consistent on taking down the targets, and if you're finding one particularly challenging, don't get too hung up on it, just move on to another target. Now in the lesson introduction video that you see in the game, it does recommend using missiles for groups of targets. Personally I just wouldn't advise that. You'll still take them out much more quickly and much more easily with the cannon. And the reload time of the rockets just mean you're sat in there look at targets without actually being able to shoot them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with just holding down the fire button of the cannon and using it for the entire mission. However, you may find this a little bit distracting when you're trying to position your helicopter, so I prefer to just try and use the cannon when I'm actually going for the targets rather than just all the time. That said, there's not much else to this mission. If you find that you're struggling to locate any of the targets, it might be a good idea to just back up a bit from the building and then take another good look. They do move around, so sometimes they're in cover before shifting out of cover. But the requirements to get gold aren't exactly too strict. There's a bar on the bottom right hand corner that shows you the time limit. You need to get 25 targets for gold, only 15 for silver, and only 10 for bronze. So again, as long as you're relatively comfortable with using a helicopter anyway, then this shouldn't be too much trouble at all. And as I mentioned in the video for lesson number 5, moving landing, if you're not that comfortable with a helicopter, you may want to look at purchasing a buzzard and using it in the missions whenever you can, just to build up that comfort and practice. So anyway guys, I hope you found that useful. I'll leave you with the rest of the lesson so you can see how it was completed. And don't forget at the end there'll be links to my videos for all the other lessons in this flight school. And of course you're welcome to check out all the other videos in my channel, which include mission strategy guides, speed runs, and tips and tricks videos. Cheers guys, thanks for watching.
Gold Star trainee, and I bet you can't even